Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. It is 1:02 p.m. February 16th, 2023. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. We're going to get into some Minecraft building. We have some topics to go over. I did get some information from one of the managers of the ClearRP server, and we're going to be talking about it. Because we had a heated stream 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, I don't remember. But we had a heated stream where a lot of us passionately discussed the status of the server and our disappointment with what was going on in the server. Now, while I'm discussing this, I will be trying my best to actively build stuff, but we're basically done with a lot of these things. It's more small stuff that's happening, but I do want to get into it because our friend who was here yesterday, or sorry, the day before, being named Your Matt, or from the people who actually know who he is, being Jay, he's one of the managers, he linked me a picture of a few things that were discussed. Now, this is heavily redacted. He didn't give me everything, but he gave me some stuff that should be a given, and I want to talk about it. And I'm still a little bit frustrated, and you'll see why in a bit. I'm not going to be showing you the thing he linked to me. I'm just going to be talking about what he linked to me. I will be reading some things, but I won't be reading everything. All right. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into it. So, to start with, they went and had a discussion. I don't know how long it was, but they had a discussion. And there was a few things that they came up. Now, I don't think they got through everything. I think there's some things that they got through that was an important thing to discuss, which we didn't bring up here. I think there was a lot of things going on at that time, and I don't know how I'm going to build what I'm building. Anyway, there was a lot going on. Okay, there was a lot going on, and I think that when it comes to the server, I think they're heading in the right direction, but you can draw your own conclusions and not listen to me make mine. So one of the issues that they brought up, and this was brought up by somebody in our chat the other day, was bringing advisors into leadership meetings after they're done. And I think someone made the point that I made, which was leadership advisors are like mini leadership people, like who are trying to become leadership or who are just like in between, and they should be included in the meetings. Now, one thing they did do, which is something that I brought up yesterday, was bring the max player count down to 32 instead of 64, and they've already done this. I think it was a unanimous decision, and I can tell which isn't a unanimous. Now, the leadership team was a little bit rocky on this next point, and that is that that some players think that Don, being Garden Grove, understands what the players want a bit more than the leadership team. Now, this was not a unanimous agreement. Some people agreed, some people disagreed. Probably some people are in the middle. I can't say for sure who was in the middle and who wasn't, but I do know that some people were not completely agree, and I think they're wrong. I think Don knows the player base better than anybody, period. And he's been doing a lot of good things. So that was one thing. Now, events, this was another thing I brought up and that the leadership team discussed, which was they wanted more roleplay focus events, creative events, and stuff like that. That was something I brought up and have been bringing up for years. Regarding our events. Well, not for years, but I've been wanting a specific event that I haven't gotten for a long time. It's 16, right? Yeah. So that was one of the things that they all agreed on. Now, here's the big one, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of us talked about this yesterday. The day before. And this one is controversial. And I don't like that it's controversial. It actually pisses me off a little bit. But it is. So it is what it is, right? And that is that they want to stop economy-focused roleplay. Now, not everybody in the leadership team agrees with this. I don't have names, and I don't think it's fair to name names anyway. But not everybody in the leadership team agrees with that sentiment, that, you know, the economy shouldn't be focused, or there should be no economy-focused roleplay. Okay? Additionally, worrying about money ruins RP. It's way too grindy for a quote-unquote RP server. And this was a little bit of a disagreement point as well from some members of the leadership team. So yeah, I think it's an important thing to note that they're wrong. Whoever disagreed with that is wrong. That the economy doesn't matter. It just truly doesn't, in my opinion. Okay? I'm very opinionated on this for a very good reason. That's because I feel like we are kind of strangling our server, focusing on the economy so much. And that would be like the biggest controversial point, that not every member of leadership agrees that like they shouldn't be worrying about the economy. They think that they should, right? And I'm gonna have to move this back by 3. So that's a bit of a bummer. That's annoying to say. So not every leadership member agrees with that. And finally, a point, I'm pretty sure Jay was the person who was bringing up these points, and I would hope so. But a big point was brought up about, the past, which was, we had more and better roleplay when money wasn't always an issue way back. So back when, like, fucking 2017, 2018, 2019, our economy was fucked. Right? But we had a lot more RP, we had a lot more people playing, and that was like one of the big factors there, right? And he says, or they say, that a lot of older players agree with this. And that's not unanimous agreement either, unfortunately. So some people disagree with this, right? And I don't know how many of those people are new. I don't know how many people those people are old. Oh, I'm getting fucked here, huh? Man, just by 1 block too. Sad. But yeah, that's that. So that's the first thing. So there's the 3 things that are like a pretty big point, right? Another one that was brought up, which was unanimously agreed with, and I don't really know anything about this, but drugs are boring, apparently. So everyone agrees that drugs are boring, and hopefully we'll see a change on that front. This has to be a 2 anyway, huh? Great. So yeah, drugs are boring. So yeah, I think everyone agrees with that, which means either there's going to be a change about it, or, you know, they're aware and they're going to try to fix the problem. I think that's a good sentiment to make. And man, this staircase is so dumb. Wait, could I do this? No, it still needs to be 3. Okay. Also, one of the big points, and I think this is a big win for at least me, which is, it was brought up that store robberies should be lasting longer. And the reasoning for that, can we still walk this? Yeah. And the reasoning for store robberies being lasted longer, and the point of what was made, was that it's shit and players leave so quick and don't give proper roleplay for anybody involved. So cops and crims do not get proper roleplay when it comes to robberies. And I agree, obviously, considering I made the point about that. And the leadership team agreed too. So I expect to see that changed rather quickly, considering of how easy of a change that is. And if you don't know, like, that is literally just a config number where you can just make stuff increase in time. I'm pretty sure the leadership team should have no problem doing that. So that's good. That's great. I'm expecting to see that change rather quickly. Also, this was a thing that I didn't know that was a problem, but apparently either this is an implied thing or not. I'm not sure for sure what's going on here, but it's listed that you should be talking to active members of a job before putting new shit in. Mechanic stuff as an example. So I'm imagining that the leadership team put new stuff in and they didn't talk to the members who were of the job first before doing that. And I bet that some people were a little bit frustrated with that. I would presume that that is the case, but I do not know. Also, a note has been in, and that was all agreed upon by leadership. Also, as a note, cars are braking way too easily. Everyone agrees with that. And they want to bring back rat pads, since mechanics can't fix cars without iron. I don't know what a rat pad is. I'm sure that's a specific job set thing. I don't know. But it does look a little promising, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to give my thoughts on the information that I just spewed out here. And that is that it's important, well, it is important to, you know, talk to leadership in a forward and direct way. I think it's also important to understand that they're trying to fix stuff. Now, it doesn't mean you should be completely happy with the way they're fixing stuff, right? Because, like I said, I am a little annoyed that there's still discourse on the economy topic. I think where the server is now, I think we need to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And I think the economy is one of those things that need to be the sacrificial lamb, you know? Personally. Now, mind you, not everybody in leadership agrees with this. I think some people do, which thankfully that's nice, right? But I don't think everybody does, which is sad, right? But, you know, that's the whole point of, like, doing stuff like this. It's like everybody's not always going to agree, right? That's just the way it's going to work. Not everybody is going to agree. So yeah, that's the way it's going to go. But I think this is okay. I don't think it's amazing. I think there's still work to be done. And I'm still going to wait until we got a good amount of players. Maybe I'll turn it down to 15 in this case because the server was lowered. But I'm still going to wait until we get a good amount of players before I'm going to play myself, right? But, you know, I think this is a good direction. And I'm glad that I feel like I'm being heard at the very least. And I think some things that you guys suggested the other day when we were in here, I think that was also heard too. Now, I would hope that everything that I have on this list here wasn't everything that was discussed, because there is stuff that's redacted from this page. Because I did ask Jay if I could bring this up on stream, and he said go for it. But I did ask for a redacted version, because there's some things they don't want to, like, they want to hold close to the chest, because it's just easier that way. It's less stress on the people who are working on it. You don't want to tell someone, hey, this is what's going to happen. And then have it not happen because it was too difficult. That could be very sad, you know? So yeah, I'm happy. I'm wondering what you guys and gals think about it. I know that we had a lot of very opinionated people in here, which is fine. I love it. But I would love to know what your guys and gals' opinions on this is. If for the people who were in here yesterday or sorry, the day before, I would love to know your opinion specifically. That is Briggs, McDougan, Tubby, a few other people. I'd love to know. But yeah, I don't think like no one's gonna be punished for, you know, speaking their mind, and I'm sure that leadership loves to see honesty when it comes to stuff like this. Like true honesty, you know? Because like that's the whole reason why roundtables exist. It's because you don't want anyone to feel like, you know, they're gonna get banned for anything and whatever. So yeah, feel free. But you don't, I'm just gonna build, and I'm gonna do it for, you know, X amount of time. And I want to keep this stream short-ish, so I'm not gonna go longer than an hour. I probably won't even get near an hour. But yeah, I think they're in the right direction. I'd love to see the economy be completely agreed on by every member, though. I'd love to see that just yeet it, you know? Yeet it and delete it. And this is coming from someone who previously designed the economy and probably am a contributing factor on why the economy is where it is today because of, like, my original idea, which was hardcore. Which was a mistake, thinking back about it, because my original idea for the economy, before it was taken off my hands and changed hands at once and everyone had their own spin on it, was that the more time that you spent in the server working on, like, grinding money, was the more time you spent on the server. It was easy as that, right? It's like a time sink. And, you know, it was overly negative thinking about it, you know? Like, it wasn't a positive. And I think that when it comes to economies like this, you need to realize that RP comes first. And I think my biggest mistake was that the RP didn't come first, you know? And I think that was the biggest problem with my design of the economy. Which, you know, it is what it is. Like, I can't change the past. And I wouldn't if I could. It is what it is at the end of the day. But, you know, I think there was a lot of things that went wrong. I think the biggest mistake we've ever done was the whitelisted, unfortunately. And even though all of us in the leadership team, like, we all wanted it, right? But I think, you know, thinking back to it now, it was a pipe dream, unfortunately. It just was. It was never going to come to fruition as it should have, you know? The only way it would have worked is if we had bigger streamers, and unfortunately I could not carry that weight myself, because I'm not a big streamer. I wish I could. That, like, we would be in a very good place, you know? But I think at the end of the day, and I still think this, that whitelisted is the end goal for every server who wants true good roleplay. But also, that is not to say that you can't have good roleplay on public servers. You just need to have good moderation. And we had great moderation. Our mods, or our admins, were fantastic. They've always been great. But yeah, I hope the server is allowed, or is able to come back from where it's fallen. And I think it could, as long as people care enough and they don't be overly attached to certain things. And I think that goes for us as well, for me as well, being overly attached to the economy being a scapegoat. Sorry, the economy being a problem, using that as a scapegoat. Because it could be completely in my head, just be like I'm using it as a scapegoat, right? Because you always want to find the reason to the problem, but in some cases, maybe there isn't a reason. You know? Like, maybe it is just, it's time for edge gamers to go. And as sad as that is, it just could be the way it is, you know? It is what it is. Wow, that actually looks really good. So yeah. If it's EGO's time, it's EGO's time. I think at the end of the day, there is a time for everything, right? So yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. But we'll see, you know? I've been supporting edge gamers for a very long time. Like fucking, you know, since 2017. And I think we can come back from this. But I'm also not going to... I'm not going to try to keep on... there's a great analogy here, just give me a second. I'm not going to beat the dead horse to get up. If the horse is dead, the horse is dead. I think that's the perfect analogy in this circumstance. So yeah, that's I think that's my final thought on that. on the thing. I hope you guys did enjoy. And I'm glad there's a little bit of communication going back and forth. Speaking on communication, I think it would do leadership good if they told everybody about this. Because, like, I have a small community, right, within our community, and I'd love for leadership to be open and honest just via a message. You know, I can understand that, like, you know, you wanna talk over voice for framing reasons, but I think the best way to do it is literally just send out a message and saying, hey guys, this is what we're planning to do. We understand the servers to this. We've heard some of your feedback, and this is what we're doing with it, you know. And I understand, like, we've also had surveys for that same reason, but surveys are just they're one-sided feedback. We want to hear what leadership's opinions is on the surveys, right? And I think it would do leadership good. And if there are any leaderships watching the VOD, leadership members watching the VOD, or, you know, in chat right now, I would recommend that, and I would recommend that highly. I'm gonna put a feast table here. I'll do that beforehand. Ooh, a 4-sided feast. That's 3, right? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so yeah, I think at the end of the day, that's the idea. I think that's what should be done. Transparency is really important, even when it hurts. And I think that even though it hurts to be transparent and, you know, say the things that either you don't want to say or just from a perspective of PR, you shouldn't, I think you should. Is it seriously not called table? Dark oak table. No, it is. Dark oak table. Solid dark. It's always solid. Solid. Okay. So yeah, I would love to see some open communication. I'd love to see it not take place at a meeting. I'd like to see it as public as it gets. As public as it gets. Which is, you know, in the context of a forum post. Like, when was the last time we used the fucking forums, guys? We used forums in ages. Open communication about what? About what they're planning to do to fix the server. Being in leadership. And being super open about that instead of adding, like, change logs and something. That's something I would like to see. Let's take one off the end here. And we're good. That's one thing I think that's very important, and I think, I think there is definitely a potential negative involved with that. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, people are going to be negative if they're going to be negative. But I'd still love to see it. Okay, we got our feast tables. We're going to add some carpet. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. Alright, I have 3 more minutes or 2 more minutes until I'm heading out. Reason being for that is I want to keep this stream short and sweet so someone, you know, can watch it without, like, feeling like they're wasting too much time. Mind you, the main point was done 14 minutes ago. The team only do so much. If no one's coming on to play or give feedback, the point is moot. You're right. The team can only do so much. You're right. But I think it helps, if they can, that they communicate. Because I've gotten communication, and I've said it here on stream, what it's been said to me, right? But what stops, like, somebody from just saying like, all right, this is what we're doing, you know? I think at the end of the day, people need to come to the server, and I think you're right. But also with this survey, I think they should, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Adam, but they should have a lot of feedback already, right? Like, there should have been a lot of feedback be put in through there from everybody who really cared. I would hope so. Anyway. We'll keep this out of the thing. Alright. But I would truly hope so, that people are giving feedback through that thing. Because that's a great avenue, you know? Because you can decide to do an anonymous, too. You can just, like, you can just not fill in your name or just say not applicable or whatever. But I'm definitely not saying that the team's not doing good enough. That's not. I've not seen the result of the survey, but with everything in EGO, we provide an avenue to provide feedback, and no one participates, but they still have strong opinions. I would say that no one participated. I would say that you're probably wrong there. I think there are people who participate, but maybe I'm in the minority, because I participate, right? And when Jay came in here the other day, we had a great conversation about everything that a lot of players were feeling. And I made my opinions and stuff known via the survey, and what I wanted done. And I made it known in the Discord as well. So I hope I'm not in the minority. I could be. I've seen it time and again that people fail to provide feedback when asked and then bitch when nothing's being done. I don't think anyone's bitching about nothing being done. I'll say that. I think some people are upset for the right reasons, though. But I would hope that small group is providing feedback. That looks nice. And I can't have a middle. Well, actually, I can. Right is always right. Yeah, if that's the case, Adam, and I would trust your judgment on this, because you've been fucking helping run Edge Gamers for a long time. But if people aren't giving feedback, then that's on them. Right? I think we both know that. And that's unfortunate. I gave my feedback, though. And I did it in the right way. And then I talked about it on stream, and then Jay was here, and he collected my feedback while I was here. And a bunch of other people's feedback. Which was great, you know? It was nice to have a member of the leadership in here hearing what some people had to say. And I would hope that those people have said it like it's their second time saying it, you know? But if it's not, it's not. I think that's on them at the end of the day. Being the people being annoyed, not the leadership team. And a slate. But yeah, people should definitely be providing feedback. And if they're not, and if they're in their stream and you haven't like seen that survey, would highly recommend doing that, because that's the best way for leadership to actually hear us. You know? In the case of yesterday, I think we just got lucky. Because we had Jay around, thankfully. But yeah, I would hope that no one's bitching without providing feedback, is all I'm saying. I don't know why there's just mixed gold in here. Done? Nope. All right. Wow, andesite chairs look amazing. Can I just do a quick copy and paste, you think? Save myself a little bit of time. Okay. But yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. I think that's it. So yeah, we're gonna call it here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully tomorrow, if there's 15 or more players, we'll join. And I'll idle beforehand. And by idle, I mean sit in the character menu so we can actually get some people in. And then when I get on stream tomorrow, if we got a good amount of people, I'll get on. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll message a few guys and gals in the COP Discord and see if we can get something going. You know? I've done something like this before. I don't remember what it was. It was Owen's original idea. I just capitalized on it. But yeah, we'll see if we can get something going. Anyway, till next time. Which is tomorrow.